Well, what a week it's been. You had the Manitoba Derby on Monday, the Gold Eyes opener back in Winnipeg on Tuesday, the Blue Bombers opener tonight on Thursday, and of course, last week, all the excitement about the Winnipeg Jets and another member of the Winnipeg Jets signing yesterday, much to the delight of many people in our chat. We know who you are because Logan Stanley, of course, has a new 2-year deal with the Winnipeg Jets. And, we've had a bunch of the other players on the show before. It's an absolute pleasure to welcome in for the first time to Winnipeg Sports Talk, fresh after signing a new 2-year deal with the Winnipeg Jets. It's Logan Stanley of the Winnipeg Jets. What's going on, Logan? Thanks so much for doing this.
Hey, how's it going? Yeah, thanks for having me.
It's going well. People are fired up. I got to tell you, Jet fans were already in a great mood last week when we saw the additions that Cheveldayoff made on the blue line. People were fired up when they heard that you got your deal signed. And, for sports fans, it's been, just to have our teams come back and have places to go and things to talk about, obviously, has been it's been great for you. First off, let's talk about it. You signed the deal yesterday. How did it come together? Was it nice and easy? Did your agent just call? We got a deal, sign it, and you're already thinking about next season? How did it all happen?
Yeah, that was pretty much it. I was up at the cottage with my parents on the weekend, and he had said they made an offer Friday, and then they called back on Tuesday, and I was more than happy with the deal, and I said, yes, sounds good. So it was pretty easy, I think. I'm glad to be back, though.
And listen, there's a lot of people. The chat's going crazy right now. You very quickly became one of the most popular players on this team, certainly here on Winnipeg Sports Talk. Have you had time to sort of reflect on last season and the strides that you made in addition to kind of focusing on what's to come next year?
Yeah, I think that was, being a young guy coming in with, older guys on the team, and you have to build that trust and prove that you're able to play. So, I think Paul and I have a great relationship. He's, a great coach to start, but he's just a great communicator, and he's a pretty honest guy, and a guy that you want to play for, and you want to do whatever it takes to help him win.
It seemed, and we talked a lot about this on the program, about your confidence, seemingly, and it was obvious. I mean, you come in there, you want to make sure you don't make mistakes your first few games in the league, but as the season went on, it seemed like you were far more comfortable and far more confident. Is that accurate? And how would you assess the way you adapted to the NHL game and continue to improve?
For sure. I think confidence is a huge part of everybody's game. You need to play with a certain amount of confidence to be at your best, I think. And so I think once I was playing in a few games and realized that, okay, I can play here, I can play with these guys, your confidence grows, and you start making, plays and going outside your comfort zone a little bit, which I think you have to do sometimes.
You also got a chance to, begin playing special teams, killing penalties a little later on in the season, and of course had that 2-goal game in the playoffs. The game didn't end as everyone, especially the guys in that room, wanted to. But when you think back to this season, are there any particular? Is there a moment where you sort of, I don't know, I want to say a light went on, but you sort of felt like, okay, I'm here and I belong? Or was it just sort of a gradual thing where you're trying to get better every game and feeling a bit more confident as the season went on?
Yeah, I think it'd be more gradual. Not really a certain point where you want to, or I thought that, okay, here I made it, because you don't want to get comfortable and, maybe a little bit lazy or whatever it is. So I think just as you play more games and build confidence and gain the coach's trust, that helped me for sure a lot this year.
We spent a lot of time, as every hockey market did, talking about the expansion draft. And, there was a number of players that, you knew pretty much were going to be, and then you knew there was going to be some really tough decisions. For general managers, and the Jet blue line was particularly one in that, you had 4 guys that, were right in the mix. You had 2 in Pionk and Morrissey with their contract situations were likely going to be exposed or likely going to be protected. And it was going to come down to you or Dylan DeMelo, both very important parts of the team going forward. Did you think about that at all? And at what point did you find out that you were protected? And what did you think when you found out that the Jets had made that commitment to making sure that you weren't selected by Seattle?
Yeah, I was relieved. I didn't want to leave Winnipeg. You know, I want to play there. They drafted me, and so when my agent called me on at the deadline, it was maybe an hour or two before the deadline, um, to for the teams to have their lists in, and he said they're protecting you, and I just was kind of a sigh of relief. Um, it was a good feeling, and I was actually up with my parents that weekend, so we were pretty happy.
Well, and I can tell you, Jet fans are even more happy. And listen, Mason Appleton was a hell of a player, and I think people really, really, and will be sorry to see him go. And it's a great opportunity, honestly, for Mason when you consider how deep the Jet forward group is. But all the conversation about the Jets needing to improve on defense, the last thing this team would afford to do was lose either you or Dylan DeMelo. What was the group chat like amongst the defensemen when we found out that Dylan DeMelo was going to stay a Winnipeg Jet?
Well, I think everyone's happy that DeMelo is going to be staying in Winnipeg. Obviously, we're going to miss Happy. He's a great guy and a really well liked guy in the room and a really good hockey player, like you said. But um, that's part of the game, and everyone lost a player. So I think we're happy to have Smoke still for sure. He's a really good defenseman and someone that I really enjoy playing with. So I'm definitely happy he's still here.
Well, and you mentioned it. What was it like? He seems to be a guy that makes his partners better. He certainly is a calming influence on it. I mean, how much did he help you through your rookie season when he was playing on the right side with you?
For sure, he's a really helpful guy and just a super nice, down to earth person. So it was easy to get to know him and play with him and just subtle little things, after a shift or you know after practice, just a little hey, try this or try that, and we get along really well, which I think helps us on the ice too.
Now, you mentioned that there was a real concern that one of the two of you would leave. That didn't happen, and there were two big additions on the blue line: Brendan Dillon and Nate Schmidt coming to the Winnipeg Jets. What did you think about those big trades that the Winnipeg Jets were able to make? Ken Cheveldayoff, and how this defense looks a lot different than it did at the end of the season with those two new guys on the squad.
For sure, I think they're both great hockey players and they're veterans in the league. So it makes our hockey team much better, and our decor is looking pretty good, I think. So I'm excited for the season. I can't wait to start. So I think both great moves, and they seem like great guys. So it'll be perfect fits for us.
Logan, two more questions for you. First up, tell us about the off season. You mentioned you're taking a bit of time out at the parents' cottage, which I'm sure is great. You're already training for the off season, and what are you working on? What's the focus before you get to training camp here in Winnipeg?
Yeah, I was up at the cottage after the season. I went up for 4 or 5 days and hung out with mom and dad and my brother and just relaxed. So that was a lot of fun. And then yeah, I didn't want to take too much time off the ice. I wanted to stay on the ice and just stay in shape and not feel like I was trying to get my conditioning back and the stuff like that. If you take a longer time off, so um, still working on my skating and getting stronger and faster because the game's so fast now. So working on that and just trying to enjoy life a little bit, play some golf here and there.
Nicely done. I have to ask you about your number because it has been a topic on this program. As you sort of established yourself last year, there's a lot of people going, well, I want to get a Stanley jersey. And we sort of said, well, listen, he's wearing 64 right now. I mean, I'm pretty sure this is like a number he got in training camp or whatever. He'll probably be changing it at some point. And then we saw all the new numbers yesterday, and you were not on that list. Is 64? Is this your own choice right now? And if so, what is it about 64? And just confirm that you'll still be wearing it going forward, so that people can pick up their big Stan jersey.
Yeah. I'm not going to switch. I've never really been a guy to care what number I wear. And 64 is my dad's birth year, so I guess there's that. And I know there's been people buy some jerseys and some things like that. And you know what? It worked for me last year, so why change?
That'll be good. Well, we were saying if it was going to be in numbers in the 60s, 67 might make a little bit more sense as a tribute to your height right now, reminding everyone who the biggest guy on the ice is.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, it's just good to know. We'll look forward to seeing that 64 back on the ice and to see you and the rest of the Winnipeg Jets back at it. Have you thought at all about what it'll be like to get back out on home ice in front of a full building of Winnipeg Jet fans after playing in empty barns all last season?
Yeah, you know what? I've thought about it a few times, and every time I just like almost get chills because I think we have the most passionate, loyal fans in the whole league. So, you know, they're going to have that place rocking the first night and all season. So I can't wait.
Well, I got to tell you, everyone's here is fired up that you're with us. You become a big fan favorite very quickly, Logan. Congratulations on the rookie season. Everyone excited to see what you're going to do in the next couple and the contract that you just signed. And most importantly, get you and your teammates back in front of a full building at the newly named Canada Life Center. And we'll look forward to seeing you then. Have a great rest of the season. All the best with the off-season training. Keep it in the fairway, and we'll see you back in Winnipeg in a month.
All right. Thanks for having me.
Great stuff. There he is, Logan Stanley of the Winnipeg Jets, joining us here on Winnipeg Sports Talk. Lots of love for Big Stan in the chat, as we expected. I hope Taylor is here. The definitely the leader of the Big Stan fan club here at Winnipeg Sports Talk. What a season he had, to come in, exceeding a lot of people's expectations, and I think giving people a lot of excitement as to what he could turn into here in the National Hockey League. He'll certainly get an opportunity to do that. A 2-year deal signed yesterday with the Jets for $900,000 a year. So yes, Taylor, everyone, you can go in. Decided to stick with 64. I was convinced that he would change, but as he said, it worked for him last year, so why not keep it going? Great stuff with Logan Stanley.